This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons, and of course Michael, sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. You still want to listen? Go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Welcome back to the Patriots Dynasty podcast for 2001 Week 6. Moving along.
Goodies!
With us today, we changing up a bit. Don't have Mike today, but we do have the Brown brothers, Greg and Steve, and also you may have heard Kelly, Greg's wife.
My wife.
How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Kelly?
I was asking Kelly.
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
Good. Steve, how are you?
Freaking fantastic.
Yeah? You sound fantastic. Especially with that heavy breathing. Thanks for that. Love it. Yeah, no, this is quality radio. I can't wait to edit all this out. This is going to be
You're not
fantastic.
editing anything, don't lie.
It's a lot easier when it's just me and Mike. I'm not going to lie.
Wait, when did you do just you and Mike?
Boy.
The last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We've still been going. This has still been happening.
how'd it go?
So it went really well. It's actually probably a good idea that we catch you up a bit, actually, because our listeners may need some of that as well, now that we're kind of getting through the season. So the last time we had you guys on was the first Colts game, right?
Yes.
The Brady's first start when they surprisingly blew out the Colts, but Brady really didn't do much. After that, Patriots went down to Miami and did what they always do in Miami and got their shit pushed in by Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas and the Miami defense. They beat the hell out of Brady, and they got run over by Lamar Smith. Was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
The old school Dolphins running back who looks just like Antoine Smith, but in a Dolphins uniform. So that, I wouldn't say you missed that game. I don't think I'd watch that ever again. That would be fine. But last week was against the then San Diego Chargers that had, you're actually going to enjoy this. It had on defense, it had Junior Seau, that middle linebacker, peak Junior Seau,
Yes, indeed.
and also Rodney Harrison playing safety, which I don't know if you could say that was peak Rodney Harrison, but it was one of his peaks. And then at quarterback was hometown boy Doug Flutie.
That's right.
Yes. With his Ty Law-esque back pedal every time he took a snap under center.
Oh, yeah.
He sprinted backwards. I've never seen anybody put so much effort into everything. He was Drew Brees before Drew Brees in terms of how much effort he puts into every throw. And even like when he's in the shotgun and he's like lifting his foot to get the snap, he's like stomping. The man he was 110 all the time. And I don't know if you knew this, but he's actually from Massachusetts. The commentators mentioned it a couple times.
Oh, yeah. Did he play like BC?
Oh, yeah. And he threw a Hail Mary. Yeah.
Isn't he
He's
the-
from like Needham or something like that. I can't remember exactly where they said he was from, but they said it a bunch.
Yeah,
I thought he went to Harvard.
No, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I know.
dude, he's from fucking Brockton.
There it is. I knew it was one of those ones that you have to say with a Boston
He
accent.
lives in Walpole, dude.
Walpole? Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Town in his radio.
They actually posted a infographic of his record in the state of Massachusetts, and none of them were Patriots games. But the game was actually a really good one because it was the first one Brady actually was the reason they won it. Me and Mike were actually talking about how the even though I knew what the actual score was, he goes in not knowing, apparently. But I knew that the Patriots won this, and there was like 8 minutes left at the end of the fourth quarter, and they're down 10 points. I'm like, I think I may be watching the wrong game. I don't think they win this. But Brady pulled it out in the end. drove him down, fourth quarter touchdown, and then drove him down again to score the game-winning field goal by Adam Vinatieri.
A few weeks ago, the New England Patriots at 0-2 and behind Tom Brady playing for the injured Drew Bledsoe shocked the Indianapolis.
What the fuck?
I'm going to come clean here, guys. I have to say something. I watched the wrong game. I watched the Dolphins game. I have a lot of notes on Jay Fiedler.
Yeah.
What you just heard was me bringing up YouTube highlights of Patriots Colts Week 6.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll need them, but I guess me and Steve are driving this one.
The David Patten game.
Yeah, it was. That's exactly right.
This is like the first game I remember from the season. I don't remember that Chargers game at all.
No, I didn't really remember any of it either.
Third Glenn touchdown catch?
Yes.
That was his game of the year, right?
It was his first game of the year. Yep, he was back, and then he pulled a hammy in practice the week before this game, and traveled with the team, and there's all sorts of bullshit going on about how, he can actually, maybe he can play or maybe he can't, but he traveled with the team, and maybe he'll play with the injured hammy, and then the Patriots said, "Nah, fuck it." So.
You want to hear my Jay Fiedler from?
Yeah, I actually do.
All right. So Jay Fiedler, obviously a Dartmouth grad.
Yep.
Undrafted. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if you knew about that.
Excuse me?
In the National Jewish Museum Sports Hall of Fame.
Ah, okay.
He was
doing a deep dive.
Man.
Yeah, wow. Must be slim pickings.
Apparently he was that was like a lot of his reputation was how he was Jewish and good at football.
No shit.
Yeah, and Chris Berman, he used to call him the Fiedler on the roof, which is hilarious. Which I didn't realize was about Jewish people. I mean, I've heard of Fiddler on the Roof, but
I didn't.
I didn't put that with Jewish people either.
Yeah, and I also went down a little rabbit hole on JewishJournal.com.
Okay.
And he was the title of the article is Jay Fiedler, the second best Jewish quarterback ever.
Who's number one?
I am on pins and needles needing to know who's number one.
Sid Luckman.
Oh. All right. I mean,
yeah. So
sure.
Also, there was an interview in the article, and they asked him Brady or Manning, and his answer was Brady.
Oh, good.
So jump a couple spots in my book.
Yeah.
Also, he joined the pro beach volleyball tournament in 2008 after he retired.
Fuck yeah.
He competed in one tournament, was 0-1, $0. There was a quote in there that said, Fiedler said he practiced once for the match and otherwise had only played volleyball at summer camps and in gym class. Which I thought was awesome.
How long have you spend reading about Jay Fiedler, Greg?
Dude, he's
enough.
Also in 2005, him and Chad Pennington, when they were on the Jets, had season-ending injuries within 7 plays of each other.
Oh, I remember that.
And they brought a 41-year-old Vinny Testaverde off his couch.
Yeah, they did. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's all I have on this game.
All right. Well, did you actually get to see any of Jay Fiedler play? And how?
Yeah, man. He was a better runner than I remembered.
Well, that's all he had. He was supposed to be, he was the next quarterback after Dan Marino. Like, he was supposed to be Marino's replacement.
Yep.
And he fucking wasn't.
He was okay, though. He had a decent career.
He could run around, but the man had no awareness of where anybody else was on the field when he was running.
Yeah.
Because that man took some fucking shots in the Pats game.
Yeah, he did.
What you're saying is he's the best Dolphins quarterback they've had since Marino?
Hey, how dare you disrespect Chad Pennington like that?
What about Cleo Lemon?
Ooh.
Ryan Tannehill, thank you very much.
Brock Osweiler.
We
Yeah.
could go down this road.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, who you could say is the best quarterback that the Jets or the Bills or the Dolphins have had since any of their
Yeah,
previous
Jim
best
Kelly did.
quarterbacks.
No.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen.
Jets don't have a good quarterback. Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, I guess.
All right. Well, how about we actually talk about the game we came to talk here about? Which
Yeah, I
feel free to chime in whenever you want.
I'm watching it right now.
All right. So we're talking about week 6 of the 2001 season, and we've gotten to the first game that you can actually call by name. I think if you said the David Patten game to any Pats fan who was around during this season, they would immediately know which game you're talking about. So I think maybe we start there. Let's start with David Patten. For those who haven't watched this game or became fans after this season or anything like that, the reason it's called the David Patten game is because he was the first player since Walter Payton back in 1979 to run, catch, and throw a touchdown pass. Well, a touchdown in general, I suppose. You don't run a touchdown pass. And he did it all in the first half of this football game. And actually just over a quarter. It really was like a quarter and a half. He did it very quickly. Steve, what did you think about David Patten? Is this something you remembered?
Oh, yeah. This is the first game that I remember really from this season. And then rewatching it on that passing TD he had.
Yeah.
Literally the exact same play as the Edelman to Dola.
Yes, it was. It was
the guy blocking in front of it. It's the same setup. It's the same route with Troy Brown being Amendola.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I think the pass from both of those wide receivers was spot on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Do we know if David Patten was a quarterback at any time in his career? Because that throw was a dime.
Troy Brown didn't even break stride. He was just gone.
No, and he just dropped it right in his bucket. It was a perfect throw. And it's not like it was a short one either. It was similar to Edelman. It was around like the 50-yard line or so.
Yeah, it was a bomb.
They called it.
Yeah, all three of those touchdowns were pretty spectacular in nature.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I was reading the post game Boston Globe, and one of the articles was Charlie Weiss, and they were asking about the game plan, and basically Weiss was saying that he knew that the Colts would probably sell out or overreact to stop the run on first down because the last time they met him, they gave up 177 yards on the ground. So they decided to just take shots on first down basically every time in the first half. And so the first play from scrimmage was the reverse to counter that, overreaction and selling out on the run, and that worked for touchdown.
Well, didn't they have a 3-and-out before that though? That's did.
No, that was their first drive because let's start from the beginning. The first drive of the game, Colts got the ball first, drove immediately down the field, which they would do all game. Kind of petered out in the red zone and then went to kick what was basically a chip shot field goal, like a 27, 30-yarder field goal from Mike Vanderjerk. And he got it blocked. And so the Pats recovered it and returned it to the Colts 30. And then the first play after that was the reverse, which went for a touchdown. Yeah. No, I think. Yeah. So I think it's just reverse because it was like a pitch to the left and then the reverse coming from the left to the right. So I think that's a reverse, but I don't know what an end around is. I think that's just when the receiver's coming and he gets it.
Let's just call it a double reverse because it sounds way more badass.
All right, fair enough. So they scored on what we're calling a double reverse because it's badass. And that was the first offensive play of the game for the Patriots, which started on the Colts 30 and went for a touchdown.
Brady on that too.
Yeah, he was actually the lead blocker. They pulled, I think it was the center and him, and the two of them were the lead blocker on that play.
Yeah, he had a sick cut block on that.
I put blocker in quotes in my notes.
That's honestly the best block I've ever seen Brady throw. If you watch him block now, he doesn't do any of that. He
if you watch him block now, it's exactly the fucking same.
Dude,
He just gets in front of a guy and falls over, and they have to jump over him, and that slows him down long enough.
I could block better than him.
That's probably the only thing you can do better than him. Yes, I would agree with that.
Better than Brady.
Yeah.
I'm faster than Brady too.
I don't know. He's gotten faster now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But apparently, I think we touched on it when you guys weren't here, but we looked it up, and Brady and Vince Wilfork ran about the same 40 time.
Yeah, I keep getting a guy at work to try and run a faster 4 than Brady because he thinks he's faster, but
Yeah, so if you look up Brady's 40 was 5.28 seconds, and Wilfork's 40 was 5.08 seconds. Vince Wilfork was faster by 0.2 of a second.
well, I think Vince Wilfork's pretty fast.
He's a baller. You seen him play basketball on Hard Knocks?
Oh, yeah. When he keeps calling out Kobe every time he drains a shot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he called out Vlade Divac at one point.
Yeah, he did.
The most ridiculous person to compare yourself there.
He's amazing, but he's nimble for a big dude.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had a couple of interceptions, and I think on one of them he had a what you could generously call a juke move and then a stiff arm. Man's multi-talented,
Talking about Vince
multifaceted.
Wilfork.
Damn right. Who we will see eventually on this podcast, but let's not spoil that. I don't think. So I mean, this was basically how this game went, at least in the first half, where the Colts would literally just waltz down the field, get into the red zone. This is like the early bend don't break defense from the Patriots, which was frustrating a little bit. But then as soon as I think they mentioned a stat, I kind of only caught it briefly, and I think they said that the Colts had scored a touchdown on every red zone possession they had up until that point in the season. And then I think they scored. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then in this game, they were 1 for like 5 or 6. It was really bad. Yeah. So the first one they went down and had the field goal blocked. And which leads me to talk about Mike Vanderjagt, who, watching this game with the earrings and everything, I looked at him.
Yeah, I have that note too.
And he looks like a nerdy football version of Dane Cook.
Okay. I can see that.
He is the football version of Dane Cook.
I kept trying to see if he had both ears pierced or just one.
I think it was both.
I mean, like, my gut tells me it's both, but I couldn't confirm that.
Yeah, no, I had the same gut feeling. I wanted to know, and they never quite showed it where he like turned his head so you could see both of them, but I'm pretty sure it was both ears. But and like big fucking diamonds too. They weren't just like little things. They were like obvious.
Kelly says that was like the thing back then.
Double massive earrings.
Style expert. Kelly moved wearing a tie-dye shirt and slept.
Yeah, Kelly clearly has no taste if she's married to you, Greg.
This is true.
My name is Kelly Brown.
Allegedly. Did you know that Vanderjagt was on that movie, The Garbage Picking, Field Goal Kicking Philadelphia Phenomenon with Tony Danza? He was the stunt double.
Did he get any kicks blocked?
No, that he was a phenomenon.
Oh, well, he wasn't in this game because, not to spoil the surprise, but of the 5 drives in the first quarter, the Colts drove into the red zone three on all 3 of their drives, had 3 field goal attempts, and had more of them blocked than actually made. Because so the Pats, score their touchdown. Colts immediately drive down the field and actually kick a field goal. Then the Patriots go 3 and out, which I think was the only time they did that in this game. So you're like, all right, here you go. The Colts are gonna start doing their thing. The Colts hit a deep pass to Marvin Harrison, who I thought was a bit of a diva in this game. Every time he fell over, he hauled off the field and then came back on like 2 plays later, completely fine.
Actually, I have that stat that you're talking about, Andy. I wrote it down.
What is it?
They were 7 for 7 on goal to goes.
That's what it was.
When they got that big pass play.
Yeah.
At that point in the season.
So
pretty good.
They get down because it was a broken coverage, and Harrison was wide open, and I believe it was Tabucky Jones ran his ass down.
Yeah.
And caught him at the 3 and literally like horse tackled the shit out of him.
Yeah, horse collared the shit out of him for
there
sure.
There are so many horse collars in these games. So that saved the touchdown, but it set up the Colts at 1st and goal from the 2, I think it was. And like you said, they had scored a touchdown on every single goal to go possession that they had all season. It was 7 for 7 or whatever it was. And the Colts go 3 and out from there. Just like didn't look good. So Patriots hold them to a field goal, and they're literally kicking a field goal from line of scrimmage of the 2-yard line, and it gets blocked again. And the look on Dane Cook's face was amazing. It was up there with Peyton Manning, which we'll get to, I think, later in this game.
Oh, so many good Manning faces in this.
Oh, it's so good.
Them all down.
Yeah, and so
wasn't he too Vanderjack?
Say it again.
Wasn't Vanderjack a drunk too?
That was a rumor. Yeah,
it was like a thing between him and Manning, where they're in the off season calling each other out, and like Manning called him a drunk.
Yeah, and they used to blame each other for all sorts of shit. Because wasn't there like a playoff game against the Steelers where he missed what should have been the game winner?
Yep.
Yeah. Because it was the Steelers were driving for a touchdown and they fumbled it. And then like Roethlisberger ran the guy down and they had to settle for a field goal and they missed it or some shit.
Yeah, apparently they were down 3 and he missed a field goal of 46 to tie it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Threw his helmet on the ground, picked up a yard unsportsmanlike.
Fucking useless. So he had 2 field goals blocked in the first quarter of this game, and they set a stat where he up to that point he had 100 field goal attempts before this game and had 2 of them blocked in those 100 kicks, and then he doubled that today and just looked like garbage. He was a good kicker, right?
Oh
yeah.
Because he couldn't even do kickoffs. Like his kickoffs would reach like the 13-yard line.
I feel like all of them are like that in this day and age.
Well, I thought Vinatieri was at least getting it like inside the 5 pretty much every time.
Yeah.
Like, every once in a while, I'll go in the end zone, but Vanderjack wasn't even close on any of them. So that's the end of the first quarter. Was the block field goal. So second quarter was a couple of drives that ended in punts, and then there's like a field possession game. Colts punted it and pinned the Patriots back on their 9-yard line, if my math is correct. And first play is Brady hitting Patten on the 91-yard touchdown, which was at the time the longest play in Patriots history, which I wrote it down somewhere.
Is there any more between that one and the Welker one?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because the Welker one is now officially, it's the longest play.
That one's
because it's 99 yards. That's right. Yeah.
But I wonder if there's any like 92s or 3s or 4s. I don't remember.
We'll probably come across them, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Neither can I.
Greg?
No, nothing comes to mind.
Did you happen to catch, Steve, what the record was broken on that 91-yard pass play? Like who held it before? It was a 90-yard touchdown from Tony Eason to Craig James, of all people. Oh my goodness. Those are some names. Oh, I suppose you guys are probably a little bit too young for those names.
Yeah,
but
like a running back maybe?
Craig James, I believe, yeah. But Tony Eason was supposed to be Drew Bledsoe before Drew Bledsoe, basically.
Right.
And fucking wasn't. I think he was the one that got manhandled in the Super Bowl against the Bears back in the day.
Right.
It's that guy. So, yeah, so that was literally the first play of that drive. So Colts get the kickoff, and I think that comes up soon. Colts get the ball back, go 3 and out, real ugly drive. You can tell that the Patriots defense is confusing the shit out of Manning, and Manning had a rough day in this. I think he ended up like decent numbers.
He did. He had like 300 yards passing.
Yeah, so if you look at the game stats, he actually did okay.
Is that not the story of his career or what?
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely is.
Well, great numbers.
But, yeah, I mean, let's see. In this game alone, 22 of 34, 335 yards, and a touchdown. But he was sacked for four times, and he had a fumble that we'll get to soon enough, because that was embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, on the season, they showed a stat that coming into this game, he had thrown 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions already. But, I mean, he threw a handful of those, I guess, in the week against the Patriots, which 2 of those got returned for touchdowns. And then I think he threw 3 the week before this as well.
I mean, the end of the season pretty even, like 1-1 or close to it.
Yeah, I think he was, yeah. It was not a great look for him, but he got absolutely lit up in this game too.
Well, like one play, I think it was in the second quarter where he like goes to scramble, and he starts taking a couple steps and realizes this is the wrong decision. Yeah. Just kind of does awkwardly slide, gets like blown up.
Yeah,
he just starts looking for someone to blame.
Oh my god, just constantly. Yeah, because he got hit from the front, and then also somebody coming around the back absolutely.
Oh no, that was a different too. Manning witch. That one was.
Oh, that was the hit I was talking about. It was
watch this game for the Manning witch.
Yeah, because it's the hardest I've ever seen him get hit, and you could tell like he probably should have taken a play off. That's actually coming out real soon, so let's not spoil that surprise. But before that, the Colts had a 3 and out where it was, one of those things where Manning had no idea what he was doing. He was seeing ghosts, as Sam Darnold would say, getting hit all over the place, not really sure what's going on. So they go 3 and out, punt the ball back to the Patriots. The next play, first down, the Colts are looking for the run, and the Patriots pull off the trick pass, the Brady to Patten to Brown touchdown on the first play of the drive. So now already halfway through the second quarter, the 5th drive of the second quarter, Patten has completed his trifecta, which is fucking amazing. And like we said already at the beginning, the throw was an absolute dime. It was dropped right in the bucket. And Troy Brown, I wrote, and this, like I had seen it before, like on punts and stuff, but he makes every catch that he makes just look easy. Like he's not even trying. Like he just, okay.
Yeah, he's got awesome hands.
Yeah, but it's just like he just kind of like tosses his hands out there right the last second. The ball just like drops in them. Like even punts, it looks like he's just catching him on his hip without really trying. It's just
muffed that one against Miami though.
He did, yeah, and he made a comment after that game where, because they had cut into the beginning of the game for some like news announcement, and they were telling him about that, about how the game was on TV. He's like, was my punt muff on TV? They're like, yeah, we caught that. He's like, damn it. So the Patriots go, and first play from scrimmage, trick play, touchdown. And then the Colts get the ball back and on the kickoff, drop the kickoff, get pinned at their own 2-yard line. Start driving again, and this is the one where with the Manning witch, he gets absolutely plastered. And And you can tell he's hurt because I think actually one of the defenders got hurt too. Like it was a pretty brutal collision. And so Manning was able to kind of like recover while they're carting off the Patriots defender. So the next play, they decide they're going to run the ball, hand it off to Edgar and James, who immediately fumbles the ball back to the Patriots.
So soft, as Mike would say.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was the one that was ragging on him for being soft in that last game, I think.
Yeah.
And I thought he actually played better this game. He was actually running through people and making people miss. But I think that's probably has to do with him playing on the dome and it being a quick surface and all that. But, yeah, so Patriots get the ball back. Immediately, they actually drive down the field, get into the red zone, and instead of having their field goal blocked, they decide to throw a touchdown. Play action, Brady to Wiggins. That very typical one that you've seen probably for the last 20 years now, where they line up in the heavy set. Everybody plays like it's a run except for the tight end or someone like that who just kind of does a quick little in pattern. And Brady doesn't even look. He just kind of fakes the handoff, spins around, just chucks it towards the back of the end zone. Just your very stereotypical Patriots red zone touchdown that you don't see anymore. And then that's just about the half. Colts had one last drive. Super sloppy, but they managed to get into Pat's territory and just barely managed to kick a field goal. So at the half, we're looking at 28-6, and this game is fucking over. The one thing I want to bring up about that last drive, though, with the Colts is I think they were at a bit of a disadvantage because the play clock at the RCA Dome, like this, I don't know if all the stadiums were this bad and we just don't remember because that's how it was back in the day. But these stadiums were kind of hot garbage. Like the RCA Dome then, like they had the shitty turf, but their clocks, like the game clock, wasn't working through 2.5 quarters. Like they finally got them back on at the end of like the third quarter-ish, so they had them for the fourth quarter. But there's no game clock, so the time was just being kept by the referee on the field. And every once in a while, I'd be like, "There's 8 minutes left in the quarter."
Yeah,
and I think that was partly to blame for the Colts like trying to drive down, not knowing how much time is left on the clock and all this stuff, and just kind of like calling shitty timeouts when they have plenty of time left, or not calling timeouts because they don't know how much time they have left. But it was just kind of a shitty.
All I'm saying is if that happened at Gillette Stadium, there'd be something gate attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if that happened anywhere in the age of social media, people would lose their minds.
Yeah, no, that's very true, actually. They really would.
There's so much more accountability to stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be more so with the Patriots, though. I mean, you're still hearing about headsets going out all over the place, but the only time it ever actually makes the news is when it happens in Gillette. Homer
podcast.
Well, yeah, who the fuck else is going to do a podcast going back and rewatching Patriots game from 2001?
The deflator, Andy. Deflator.
He destroyed his phone.
Nobody else has doctored footballs and bragged about it. Been caught on TV.
Yeah, they're probably
off the podcast, Greg.
RCA, anyways.
Yeah, you can get back on when you become a homer again.
Yeah, that's right. We don't have room for doubters on this podcast. Thank you very much.
Greg, you're out. Kelly, you're in.
What's that?
Kelly, thoughts on Deflategate?
Bullshit.
Yeah, Kelly's in. Greg, you're out.
I mean, you didn't even watch the game, Greg, so what are you complaining about?
Dude, I watched the highlights in the last 10 minutes.
Yes, so did Kelly, so she's just as important.
You know, just for that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go out and say that Ty Law did not have a good game this game.
So how dare you?
He did. He was on Marvin. Marvin
Refute me.
40 yards.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison went off in this game.
Dude, they only gave up 17 points, according to the scoreboard that I'm looking at.
This is true, but Marvin Harrison basically ate Ty Law for lunch.
Dude, his hamstring was acting up. He had a bad night's sleep the night before.
Yeah, and Harrison still, with all that against him, managed to. Although there were, I mean, I think it was a lot of scheme stuff because in some of the replays, the commentators didn't actually notice that, I don't think, because it wasn't as prevalent back then as it is now. But there was a whole lot of what nowadays would be called as offensive pass interference, with like the crossers kind of like throwing a shoulder into the trailing defensive back sort of shit. So there's a lot of that happening, especially in like the 2-minute drives and stuff like that. So I think there was a lot of scheming to get Harrison open on Ty Law, but he still got lit up.
Just in general, there's way more like what you see now is like that's a penalty, that's a penalty, that's a penalty. Just
oh my god, yes,
all the time,
just constantly. Yeah. So we're at the half, and then coming out of the half, they showed a couple of different stats, which kind of surprised me. The first was that the Pats this year at the half here had outscored the Colts 48-6 in the first half of games this season, which is, I mean, usually you would think it'd be the other way because the Colts putting up points, but like that's really bad. And the other one that was kind of the opposite was that so far this season, the Patriots have been outscored 44-10 in the third quarter, which is exactly the opposite of what you would expect from a Belichick team who, especially nowadays, kind of almost seem to just be playing a little bit vanilla in the first half to figure out what adjustments need to be made. They go in at halftime, make the adjustments, come out, and just absolutely put the screws to whoever they're playing. But it sounds like I'm the only one that found that interesting. So
I'm more about the clutch quarterback poll they tried to put out there.
I took a screenshot of that. The NFL.com interactive poll. And it is, your team has 2 minutes left, 80 yards to go, no timeouts, and you're down 4 points. Which QB do you want leading your team? Here are your options.
Oh, boy.
Dan Marino, Brett Favre, John Elway, Joe Montana, Phil Simms, or Troy Aikman. And
that's not bad.
The caveat here was, I don't know which announcer it was, but he said, just so you know, we're not saying it's Joe Montana. We're not saying it's Joe Montana now, of course. It's Joe Montana at his peak.
Good clarification.
Right.
Yeah. And they were hard on Joe Montana.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because who were the commentators in this? It was Ian Eagle and Solomon Wilcox. And I believe Solomon Wilcox said something along the lines of, I've seen him beat me in a Super Bowl in a 2-minute drill, so I'll take him or something like that.
It's Ian Eagle.
Fair.
Yes.
Calling him Ian.
Good. I've said that a few times. I don't know if you were there for
such a
games he's done so far, but yeah, I mean, you can't spell it I-A-N and then say it's Ian. It's not. It's Ian.
Imagine naming your kid, especially in that day and age, without like millennial names, or practice teacher and be like, actually, it's pronounced Ian.
That'd be like Steve. Be like, no, actually, it's Stefan.
Yeah, exactly.
With a PH. Like, no, you're Steven. But I know that usually this is the time where I will get riled up about the commentatings, but I actually thought they were pretty good.
Oh, good.
In this game, because there was one spot where they actually explained what cover 2 defense was, which was actually really interesting. And then they kept coming back to be like, oh, so that's the reason that Harrison was open in the middle of the field, because the cover 2 and the safeties had split out wide to cover guys over there. And, I thought it was actually interesting to hear something useful from football commentators.
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't a lot of X's and O's back then.
No, there definitely wasn't. But so to hear that was actually, well, at least that I remember, but to hear that was kind of surprising and in a nice way.
Yeah, like Baldy wasn't breaking it down on Twitter after the game at all.
Exactly. Yeah, you didn't have Tony Romo calling out what the play was going to be before it happened, sort of thing.
Baldy's breakdowns are must watch.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're so good.
Love his voice too.
Yeah.
That man loves him some offensive line play. Absolutely loves it.
Yeah. But speaking of shitty commentating and clutch quarterbacks, dude, they were saying the other night that Seattle-San Francisco game that went into overtime.
Oh, yeah.
that Russell Wilson was the most clutch quarterback playing in the game today.
Oof.
What an outrageous statement when, like, the play he's most known for is throwing a pick in a Super Bowl to finish the game. And you could say Tom Brady's not the best quarterback, whatever, like skill-wise, but undoubtedly the most clutch.
Yeah, I mean, look what he did at the end of last season.
And then Russell Wilson just goes and throws an interception in overtime. I was losing my mind.
Like,
all right, Greg's back on the bandwagon.
Baby.
Still getting riled up.
Love it. That's better. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Most clutch playing in our game today. What an asshole.
Oh, it's garbage. All right, let's talk about the second half of this game. I did actually watch it, even though not much happened. In the third quarter, the kind of only real exciting thing was Harrison beating Tightlaw on a corner fade for a touchdown. The first touchdown and the only touchdown the Colts score? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because what did they end up with? 17?
Yeah, they went for 2, and they got it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so because they kicked 2 field goals, they went for 2 and got it, even though it didn't look like they did. But I think that was just the guy's helmet getting knocked off. He got hit so hard. So that was kind of third quarter. A couple of field goals happened. Nothing exciting. Beginning of the fourth quarter was what I think was Brady's play of the game. And I actually ripped a highlight of it because Brady, it was one of those Brady avoiding pressure in the pocket, but just by taking a couple steps here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he stepped up to the line of scrimmage and realized that he was real close to it. And so, but he had Troy Brown running downfield. He's standing at like the 50, and he chucked it to the goal line standing like straight up with his feet side by side. So he didn't even get to like throw into it. He didn't want to go over the line of scrimmage. He was kind of like leaned back and just hucked the football 50 yards, like just from a standstill with not even putting his body into it. And that got called pass interference because the ball kind of hung a little bit, which is fine because of the way he threw it. And so the Pats got the ball at the 2, and then Brady throws another play-action touchdown to David Patten this time, which was that almost the exact same play, but it was David Patten on the slant instead of a tight end lined up tight. But it was the quick play-action, spin around, just hucking it. I think Brady just aims for the goalpost and just expects his wide receiver to be right there at the time because it doesn't really seem like he has enough time to actually turn around, locate who he's throwing it to, and actually place it where he needs it to be, but it ends there every time.
It was a snag, too.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. So I was wondering how tall David Patten was. Steve, how tall are you? Yeah, so Patton's got an inch on you. David Patten's playing wide receiver in the NFL at 5'10", which is bananas.
This was like his rookie year, right? Or
no, I think he'd actually been around, but this was his first year on the Patriots.
Yeah, you want to hear his history?
Yeah, give me his history.
Yeah, he went to Western Carolina, where he really didn't do anything, and went to the Arena Football League.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
Yeah, for the Albany Firebirds. And then he kicked around the Giants for 3 years, the Browns for a year, and then he was never
like he was more of a kick returner for the Giants and all that.
Yeah,
like
he was catching like 15 balls a year.
Yeah. Yeah, so his first year on the Patriots was 2001 because he had 3 years with the Giants, 1 year with Cleveland, and then...
Yeah. You want to hear something else interesting?
Yeah, give it to me.
Played football in South Carolina. The quarterback that was throwing that for this high school team, Okie Reese.
What?
The shortstop?
Yeah, the shortstop from the Red Sox.
That's amazing.
Okie.
I bet that team was amazing.
I bet
All-time great name right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's top 10. Pokey Reese. It's amazing. Especially because he never hit for power, so all his hits were poked somewhere.
Poke it out there to left field.
Yeah, that's right. Just pokey it.
Great defense, though.
Yeah.
One of the best defensive shortstops that I've ever seen.
His ops on balls hit to him, I've never seen anybody jump that high that wasn't in the NBA. Like, it looks like he's climbing ladders to go catch things. And we're not talking fly balls, we're talking line drives that should be going into the gap. And
What about Noma?
no.
Noma.
He was a give, but he was more of a dirt dog than anything.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So we're in the fourth quarter. That's right. So Brady throws a touchdown, and the Colts, it's like their last chance to make it a game, drive down into the red zone yet again. Manning drops back to pass under no pressure whatsoever. Goes to throw to a wide open guy in the middle. I think it's a tight end, and the ball just literally falls out of his hand. Patch recover. It looked like
Jameis Winston special.
Yeah, it was one of those Winston just threw it backwards, just out of nowhere, had like no pressure, no nothing, beautiful pocket, and just ball just flies out. Pass recover, and the boos. This I think there's two things that made this play so good. One was this was peak Manning shrug. And I think you both know what I mean by Manning shrug, where he has the face on, of course, right? Because it's Manning face. But the shrugging that he does, where he puts both hands out in like jazz hands and just starts like shrugging violently, was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then the boos. I mean, the boos actually started in the first quarter.
I had noticed on that. There's a ton of booing for the Colts.
Just constant booing. It started on the opening Patriots touchdown.
It started on the block field goal. The first block.
It got worse on both block field goals, and then every time they took a sack, they were booing plays that they thought should have been pass interference that were blatantly not pass interference. The one time they didn't boo is at the end of the first half. I think it was. Let me see. Was it after the dropped? No. Oh yeah. It was after they dropped the kickoff and got pinned at the 2-yard line. Patriots went on to score a touchdown off of the ensuing drive, and then kicked off, and they actually managed to take a touchback on that play, and they got the sarcastic cheer, which is one of my favorite things in football. So they got cheered for doing something that should just be something that they should do every time.
Oh, I saw that in the Bruins game tonight. Buffalo got 12 shots, therefore we got one, and then the first shot, the whole TD Garden cheered the Bruins for like 12 minutes.
Yeah. There's nothing better than the sarcastic cheer.
Can we go back to the Manning face a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. We can do a whole episode on it if you want.
Is there like a YouTube supercut of Manning face? There's got to be, right?
Probably. If there isn't, we'll make one.
Which one do you prefer, the Peyton Manning face or the Eli Manning face?
Peyton Manning face.
Right? I think
100%.
the Peyton is very much like everybody else sucks.
Yeah.
You guys do what I want you to do. And the Eli face is like, where am I?
Yeah.
Got sacked. I am so.
Am I late for something?
Face, but you could tell they're different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One's much more rooted in confusion. The other one's much more rooted in like
derision.
Yeah.
Oh, it fuels my soul. The Manning face. Eli
is the best.
No, I'm still Peyton, because in this game, like at the end of it, Patriots get the ball and they're like just like running out the clock. They had like a 7 or 8 minute drive in the fourth quarter, so there's like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
And he is literally just kind of going at anybody that'll listen to him. So like the offensive line just sitting on the thing, and you can see him just like gesticulating and like yelling and all this stuff. And then they cut back to him a couple minutes later. He's doing the same thing to the offensive line coach, who's standing there like trying to watch the game, and he's just like yelling at the side of his head.
It's going full Rivers.
Going on and on and on.
Rivers is the best for that.
Oh yeah. But this is the same sort of idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
Just throwing a pouty, hissy fit.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, and actually the end of the game was kind of pissy just in general because Pats ate up a shit ton of time on their last drive and get it to the 2-minute warning. And so out of the 2-minute warning, the Pats are up 3 touchdowns, and so they take a knee, and the Colts call a timeout.
Yeah, I thought that was such bullshit.
Down 3 touchdowns after the 2-minute warning. So the Patriots were like, fuck it, we'll run plays. So they ran 3 more plays, and instead of kicking the field goal on 4th down, they went for it on like 4th and 7 and got 6.5 yards. So the Colts got the ball back with 51 seconds left. So what do? They put Mark Rippon in, the backup quarterback. Remember Mark Rippon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Redskins great Mark Rippon. Yeah. And then they handed off twice. But so they handed off the first time, the Patriots call a timeout. Just so the Colts can run it again, and then the game ends.
I think the Patriots should have gone for a touchdown there. Just said, fuck you.
I think if they had gotten the first down, they would have. I think they would have kept throwing the ball and actually run up the score. So
I respect it, though. You know,
I would have if they put Manning back in there and be like redeem yourself, you have one last drive, but they didn't. They put the backup in and ran it twice. Like, why the fuck call the timeouts?
Because fuck that, dude. It's professional football.
No, that's bullshit.
No, I'm of the opposite opinion. I don't care how much I'm losing by. I want to lose by less. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's fine, but then put your starters out and fucking try to score that last touchdown.
That's true. I'd put the starters.
Don't put your backup quarterback in and run it up the middle twice.
Yeah.
Fuck's the point of that?
That's true.
The one other thing I wanted to bring up in this, and I'm a little sad that we have to do it without Mike here because it's his boy, but you missed in the last game perhaps the funniest play so far of the season. Punter Lee Johnson. He got it was in the 4th quarter against the Chargers. They were punting in their own ends. Caught the ball at like the 10-ish yard line and saw a free rusher coming off. So instead of rushing his punt, he tried to take the ball and put it around his back and sidestep the guy. But he didn't fool the guy. So the guy just grabbed him and threw him to the ground as Lee Johnson flailed the ball out of his hands. And then the guy that tackled him picked up the football while Lee Johnson stood there thinking the play was over. And then the guy ran in for a touchdown to put the Patriots down 10 points with 8 minutes left.
Oops.
So that was the last play of Lee Johnson's career as a Patriot. As Ken Walter took over punting duties from here on out. And if you thought Mike Vanderjagt looked nerdy, fucking Ken Walter with that face mask that's kind of like way too low, and it looks like he has his helmet pulled too far down over his head, so his face mask is like covering his chest, and his chin strap is under his neck, and that's how he punts footballs. Jesus Christ. It almost looked like Ryan's Story in terms of the size of his nose.
Yeah, he's got a huge nose. Look ridiculous.
Yeah, and shout out to Ryan's Story, our good friend.
You should have been Jay Fiedler.
Who we call Toucan Sam just because of the size of his massive honker. And I think Ken Walter would give him a run for his money. I think Ken Walter with his helmet on, if he ran into a wall, would hit it nose first.
Ken Walter with a nose like that should be in the National Jewish Museum Sports Hall.
Bringing it all back. I love it. All right, so that's the game. Let's do some best and worst. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, give me your best and worst, Greg.
I'm going to steal David Patten, obviously.
All right. Did you have any specific David Patten that was your best?
Well, I mean,
the fact
it's the David Patten game, dude, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
And every touchdown being ridiculous that he scored or threw for.
Yeah, there are no easy ones that he scored.
Yeah, and I mean, to this day, I still remember it as the David Patten game, right? So
it
kind of speaks for itself.
I agree.
And then for worst, I'll take myself for watching the wrong game. That's a given.
All right, at least you own up to it. At least you're honest. That's fine. Next week will be better, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Steve, give me your best and worst.
I mean, the best is definitely the Manning witch.
Yeah, that was a good one. I did enjoy
like
that.
I said, I'd forgotten that, and that's the hardest I've ever seen him get hit. Kind of got that, like, he got it in the back first, which you didn't see coming.
Yep.
And as he started to fall forward, the guy coming from the front, who he did see coming, got him right in the chest.
Oh, yeah.
And he's kind of got like the old whiplash. It was brilliant.
He was real woozy.
I think the worst is, some of the tackling on Edgerrin James. He kind of tore it up.
Yeah, James went for, I had it written down here somewhere. He went for 140 some odd yards on 30 carries. Like he didn't score a touchdown though. They couldn't do anything short yardage. But yeah, he rebounded nicely from because the only game they posted stat, the only game he didn't rush for 100 yards so far in the season was the first Patriots matchup. So I almost felt like the Patriots, once they got up big, they just said, if you want to hand it off to Edgerrin James, keep doing it. As long as Manning's not throwing, you're not going to catch up quick. So I'll give you that. My best, I think, was a play we didn't actually talk about. I forgot because I watched this a few days ago. But Manning had a pass knocked up in the air by the defensive lineman, I think in the first half at some point, and it was caught by his left guard, who then decided to take off downfield and with blazing speed managed to get 2 whole yards on the completion. So it was Manning completion to whoever's left guard was.
It was better than Marshall Newhouse catching it and then immediately fumbling.
That's true, yes. There is that. Poor Marshall Newhouse.
Starting left tackle, baby.
He's trying his best. I think my worst was the Colts calling bullshit timeouts after 2-minute warning and then getting the ball back with 50 seconds left and throwing their B team out there to run it up the middle.
I disagree.
That's some chicken shit stuff. It's chicken shit, Greg.
I had one question that I wanted to pose.
Yeah, go ahead.
About David Patten. Who you taking as a more influential Patriot, David Patten or Deion Branch?
I will.
Probably Deion.
You want to just ask that question one more time without opening an entire pack of gum while you're doing it?
Oh, Kelly, putting some mozzarella and the spinach artichoke dip.
Hold on. Can't open it.
Oh, Kelly needs a man's hands here.
Jesus Christ. You want to crinkle some aluminum foil while you're at it? Great TV.
Well, here's kind of the thought behind it, right? I think Deion Branch probably had better stats, more yards, more catches, touchdowns, and all that. But Patton had some huge catches in those first 3 Super Bowls, right? He had the one against the Steelers from Bledsoe.
Yep.
He had one in the first Super Bowl against the Rams.
That was exactly the same play as the one for Bledsoe. Yep.
This game, like if you talk about memorable games, to me, David Patten had more or memorable catches.
I don't know. Deion Branch had that Super Bowl MVP though.
That's the other side of the argument. Yep.
Yeah. He also had that play against the Bears in the snow where he caught a touchdown right at the end of the half that I remember. And he also came back.
Yeah.
So Patten.
Did Patten come back?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Patten went to the Redskins, right?
He went to the Redskins, the Saints, with the Browns, and then signed back with the Pats in 2010. I don't think he actually played.
I don't think he did because his rushing and receiving stats on Pro Football Reference in 2008.
Squad.
Yeah.
And then
all right. Yeah, I'll give him that though. He came back. I mean, I think they're both second to Troy Brown. But I think you can make a case for either one of them. Yeah, I think you can make a case for either Patton or Dion Branch.
Yeah. Have you seen the it might be the Globe that's doing like Patriots dynasty rosters?
No.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like you pick like an all-time Patriots dynasty team and you pick like whatever, like 4 receivers, you go through every position.
Mm-hmm.
We should do a live pick for a podcast.
Like a draft?
Yeah, because it's actually like it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of questions like this where it's like, ooh, Patton or Branch? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've actually done that for the Patriots Dynasty website. Where we did an all.
You're a fucking nerd.
Sorry to ruin your thunder by having done this 2 years ago.
I activated to my list afterwards.
Good for you. Yeah, don't worry about it. And it was voted on by the Patriots subreddit. So, and I think the most contentious was, who do you put at cornerback 2?
Well, it's Tyler. Oh, yeah.
Ty Locke is cornerback 1. Who do you put at cornerback 2?
Yeah.
Gilmore.
Revis.
It's probably Gilmore now, but
Is it?
pre-Gil, I would say so. With the season he's having this season,
I don't know. I mean, Darrelle Revis had a shutdown season. They won a Super Bowl.
he did. Yep. And Malcolm Butler. I mean, for obvious reasons. I think you
Gilmore's
could put Asante Samuel in that list, even though he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was never like beloved either.
Kelly's
His numbers were great, though. What was that?
Kelly says Willie McGinnis.
At cornerback.
Yeah, Big Willie style.
Good effort, Kelly. Good effort. Yikes. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for this episode of the Patriots Dynasty podcast. Who are we looking at next week, boys?
Broncos.
I'm going to write
Yeah, we're going to Mile High Stadium to find out why.
Windy City.
Yeah, why the Patriots
Big Easy.
had issues in Mile High, and that will start next week. Well, we'll see what happens. But until then, we will talk to you guys soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
See you, bro.
That's right. Not that this will be aired at Thanksgiving, but
Forever.
next Thursday for us is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Ooh, we should do a Thanksgiving episode.
All right, guys.
All
I'm
right.
going to bed.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
talk to you soon, boys.
Sleep tight, beautiful.
You know it. Love you too.
I didn't say I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye, guys.